So this time we're going to talk about commissions. This is going to be for the buyer side, and it's going to be for the artist side. And a lot of the artists will still have jobs because there's this whole thing saying the decline in commission isn't just caused by AI, which it isn't. Yes, some of it's caused by AI, but not all of it. And here is why. Because some people are hesitated. And why are they hesitant to buy the artist? Because it usually does not transfer copyright ownership. So here's the issue about that. Yes, but it's fine. It makes sense. This is why it doesn't transfer the whole, copyright thing. It's because the artist should still, own it because it's their art. The problem is that people, if they're going to be more hesitant if they want to use it in videos, or they want to use it in videos because they don't know if it's going to be like the merchandise where you can't actually sell. If you buy commission, you actually can't sell that as merchandise because you technically don't own the rights to it. Even if you buy a commission, you can't sell it. So that's why more people are hesitant. And the reason, and that which would be, many buyers want full control over something they pay for and don't restrict how they can use it, which is true. Basically, if you buy something, you want to own it. This plays into, let's think about this. So you're basically you're just renting it because you're buying. You use it for a lot of times for your character or for YouTube, but you can't use it as merchandise. Which is, again, makes sense because artist owns it, which is the point. But that's the thing they don't want to deal with, just because if they have that restriction, they do not want to have that issue. And then, this is why, and here comes the next point for that. It says, some buyers are worried about accidentally violating copyright rules and dealing with legal issues. That's where the merchandise comes in, and maybe some thing where there's actually some commissions that will let you use it for YouTube. Some won't. Some will. It's an iffy wall of what you can do and not. And again, people don't want to deal with that. So they'll either draw their own thing. They'll draw their own stuff. They'll find a software so they can easily create on there. Or then they'll use AI because, again, yes, these things could also deal with legal things, but the AI one's not as clear. It is a little more clear actually than commissions. The softwares are definitely more clear than commissions. And again, if you draw your own thing, you automatically own it. But this, like softwares, these don't count as AI. These are just softwares. They tell you like what you could use it for and what you could do. They're actually directly telling you what it is. Some commission artists have damaged trust through poor communication, missed deadlines, and changing terms, or public drama. This does not apply to all artists. We're going to say that now. But bad experience can make buyers cautious. What it means by that is, this one, I could throw two things into that one. That one is missing because lately, again, not all artists, but a lot of the commission artists, they'll have you pay up front. I mean, I guess paying up front makes sense. Like some of it, not too much of it, some of it. But then it goes missing. They go silent, or they never give it to you, and you just lost money. And then you gotta figure a way to dispute that, or you basically just lost things. That's why I don't even do commissions anymore, because that's true, because thing. And then public drama, then if their account gets blocked or anything, you basically lost your money because then you won't get anything. And many people do not use Twitter anymore, actually. It says many clients now hire artists through other websites, private comments, and professional platforms instead of Twitter. So commissions still happen even if they're less visible. So people say they lose their job to AI. This plays with the AI. They're not. It's just because more people are moving to other things that are not Twitter. They're using other sites, which definitely I've seen get more commissions and all. And then So here are the pros and what the buyers usually get. We'll start with what the buyers usually get. Ownership of the finished artwork, personal use rights, a custom piece made to their liking, um, what the artist usually keeps, copyright ownership, which makes sense. Profile and showcase rights. Yes, they could show it in showcases and the portfolio because honestly, they need to show other what work they did so they could get jobs or get clients, which is understandable. Commercially right unless sold separately. So I think if I remember, I think that kind of means that one kind of confused me when I was kind of trying to research that. I think it means you and the buyer, you and the buyer could sell the art and split the money, but you can't sell it separately. That one's a strange one. And then pro for the buyers, custom artwork again, direct communication usually, unique design and personal results. But here are the cons, and I agree with these because can be expensive. And here's the thing: I know it takes a lot of time to make the drawings and go in personal details, but certain things are just too expensive. And this one, here's what I wanna. This is the one I want to play. It's not that it's the prices are usually unfair, but let's say someone charges you 3,000 for a VTuber thing. So they'll do the art, and I think they do the animation. Um, the best thing to do is you either just get the commission for the design, or you find a way you make the design and have someone animate it. Don't do both because it's not worth 3,000. You could probably do it, or you could use a software and not again. This is not AI, just a software. I mean, you could use AI, but if you use a software, you could also make it. You could also get it cheaper than thing. But my issue when I say it could be expensive, it's not the actual price like up front in that. It's the the tip after they finish it. I ran into a few commissions. I ran into a few, and then some of my friends ran into a few. Um, you tip someone to be nice. You tip them a certain amount of money, and then usually the ones I ran into, I'm not gonna really say things because I don't know if they do it all the time. They just do it maybe sometimes. Um, they'll try to guilt trip you to make you pay tip more, or they'll say, "Did I do a good job?" and they'll try to make you pay a higher tip. Because, for example, I had one. Again, I had one. My friend had one. Um, we gave him we gave him about. I'm not sure what we gave him last time, so we'll just come up with a random number. Um, someone gave, but this the event happened, but not with the sack amount. So they say you gave them $15, right? They'll be like, was my art good and can you change the numbers? They want you to change the numbers around, so they give a $51 tip. Honestly, most when you give someone a tip, you don't ask how a lot to give you. You usually take what they give you because it's a generous thing. They don't have to tip you. For example, like I know in certain places, let's go with cultures. Certain places, like for example, Japan. Some of the places they find tips actually as an insult because what I find interesting about that though that they find tips insult because they're proud of their work and the amount that you pay for it normally is that means they did good, which props to them. But if you do tips, you just have to be happy with what the person gives you, or try to do a set tip, just like a set tip, so the person knows before doing the product, because they might have the money for the project, but not a tip. That's the thing, and this plays out because a lot of people had this issue. Another reason why there's so many people that don't do commissions is because they don't do commissions because because people ask, because if you ask for a higher tip, it actually makes the buyer don't want to, tip you, because it's actually very rude to ask for a higher tip or anything like that. Um, Next time, another con for buyers, but again, you can't really say it is a bad con. Long wait times. Long wait times because if they have a lot of artists, a lot of work, and it's bad for the commissioners to take too much work if they know they're not going to have it on a deadline. If you give someone a deadline, you gotta do it on the deadline because you lose trust in the buyer. So I don't blame them on that one. Another cons for the buyer: copyright restrictions. Yes, I agree with that. That's a if you want to play on. Again, it should be a thing where the buyer can get the copyrights for it. They get the copyrights, so they can use it and sell merch and all that. But the what they have to do is they have to either, I guess, like split some of the money with the artist, or the artist could use the art and for the profile. So the copyright restrictions, that one you can't really change. It's annoying because again, you don't really own the artwork because it's a rental. It makes sense why the artist is still owner of it, but that drives a lot of people away. I don't blame them getting drive away with that, but that one you can't really fix. Well, maybe you can. I don't know. Risks of poor communication, which is also true, because sometimes they just won't answer you, or sometimes they won't. Risks of missed deadlines, absolutely. If you're gonna give a deadline of when it's done, you have to deliver. So that one's on the artist. The artist has to say, if you say a day, you have to get it done that day. So you gotta be careful of how many people you take at once. Maybe take like 5 people knowing you could do it. You take 5 or 4, you close your thing down for a second, and you say, I will take some after these 5 or something. But that's hard because if they do it for a living, they can't really do that. But for a heads up, if you guys do commissions for a living, I say this even about YouTube. YouTube, anything with social media, I know some people do it as a living, like a full-time job, but actually you should just do, if you're doing social media, like YouTube, Twitch, streaming and all that, or even commission arts, have a backup job. Have a backup job or work another job so you always have a steady income. Because like commissions, you will not always get a lot that month, and that might screw you. Same thing like YouTube. You might not get a lot of views one month, and you might on another month, and then you will be screwed on maybe payments to bills. So you always want to have another job or something. That's just a little advice on anything for that one. Because, for example, Markiplier, you'd think he could probably make he can make it just full-time YouTube, but he has other things. He made movies, like big projects, merchandise. He has other things for backup, so that's the thing you have to worry about. A lot of big careers have, again, more things, which is good. Always have more things besides just making commissions or just YouTube. Always just be on the safe side, always have a backup. Moving on. Pro for artists. Protect their work, yes. Honestly, again, like I said, the copyright restrictions, we also kind of need those. I know that means it's kind of sucky for the buyer, but it does protect the work of the artist. So they would have to try to figure out if for restrictions, if you give credit to the, I don't know, you can't anyway, the artists will be protected, their work, which is good. License opportunities, that is a positive, but I don't know how much a license they'll get on that one. I mean, if you did if your IP gets really popular, then yes. Portfolio use, that means just getting better, showing people work to get more clients or just to get hired at a job. So that's good. Here's the con. Here's the cons for the artists. Some buyers want full ownership. Honestly, buyers have the right to think that, but I mean, copyright law plays most support, so artists will get, the work protected, which is good. So it makes sense why buyers again want full ownership, because it's not just, and we can't. And here's another example. We won't just use commissions or art, video games. Buy them on Steam. You buy them on Epic. Do you Ubisoft? Do you really own them? No, you owe the license to them. So if that game ever gets shut down, that means you can't play it anymore. So I see where that point stands. Copyright discussions can discourage clients, which, yes, if you don't want to go through all that thing of what you could do and not do, that is a lot of work for both of them. Time spent on contracts and disputes, again, that's another main pain in the butt for even customers and artists. Risks of difficult customers, I'd say you can't just put that as a con for artists. Risks of difficult customers could also go both ways. Customers have difficult times with artists, and artists have difficult times with buyers. So that goes both ways. Now, here is why some people are not. Why some buyers don't commission artists anymore. One, again, they want complete ownership after paying, which makes sense. They don't want to learn the copyright rules, which is true too. They heard stories about commission disrupts. Those are a pain. I did hear some of those. Those are a pain. They had bad experience with artists. Yes, once some of the commission people and artists, or any general work, not just artists and commission, any work, they think, oh, buyers should just annoyed because they want to use AI to get cheaper things, or they're not annoyed basically with all artists. They just have really trust issues, because after you get one or two or three that it's such a bad experience, and then you meet, like, let's say you meet a really good one, because there are some really good ones out there. You're not going to trust them, I can tell you that right now. Price has increased while budgets have become tighter, which is true. I don't know how much you would really charge for a VTuber avatar. Maybe like 500, 600. I know the art would take a while. The animation would take a while. So maybe 1,000, but 3,000 most of the time is overkill. Because I could tell you right now, the reason people don't do commissions because of the price, it's not that even they use AI. You can use software like Blender. You use Blender, you can make a character. For some things you can make for free, some you'll have to pay, but most of it you can make for free. And there's other softwares the same way. So now alternatives now assist include stock art, pre-made assets, and AR generation. Yes, this one, people will use AI for certain things, but they won't use it they're not gonna use it for all things. Sometimes they can use it for thumbnail art. But here's the thing that some people do more than they use commissions or thumbnail artists. They'll go into game, if you're a gaming channel, video game channel, or even if you're cooking. Anyway, they'll take a picture for example, cooking. They'll take a picture of themselves cooking something. Bam, there's a thumbnail there, free. For a video game, you literally go into the game and you try to time, if you could time a good screenshot if something happens. This is a little harder, but you screenshot something really good that happens, or you screenshot something in the game, and then you just add an image of yourself, or you add something else, and that's what people do too. They don't pay for art anymore, which is, I mean, the benefit, like I said, for gaming channels, you just go in game and that's nicer too, because that helps more than you gotta be like, okay, for the dumb artist needs to match your video thing. But if you take a screenshot of like a insane clip of, not an insane clip, but like something in the game like a monster or something, the person will know what's in the video because again, it's in the game. So that one. So next is some feel commission process is more complicated than it used to be. Yes, I say when you're dealing with when you deal with someone with commissions and artwork in anything, and even again more samples, video game departments, graphic design, all these. The process is so much more complicated than it used to be, and people just don't do it. And let's just make the final point here. This isn't attack on artists or copyright protections. Because, again, artists has valid points of protecting their work, and copyright law is important. However, it is also understandable that some buyers prefer simple ownership terms or choose the other options. If a commissions are declining in some areas, it is likely due to multiple factors, not just AI, because people keep saying AI. No, it's multiple factors, because if it was just AI, they will not decline so quickly. And then artists and buyers have legitimate concerns, and the situation is more complex than simply seriously blaming one side. Literally, there's a lot of cons on the buyer side, a lot of cons on the artist side, a lot of pros on the artist side, a lot of pros on the buyer side. It's like it's a throw of a coin of 50-50. It's a struggle, but that is mostly some of the reasons why actually a lot of people are starting to phase away from commissions or artwork. It's not just AI. It's a bunch of factors, and you have to look through them. But it is possible to keep going with a lot of clients. You just have to stand out and try to be, and both sides, buyers and artists have to be more reasonable than just going at each other. Until next time, peace out.